Hi everyone, day 23. Oh, and as always, the t-shirt today. I like to refer to this one as my Has-Been Hotel Season 2 spoiler shirt. Full stop. You have to understand, I could easily ramble Has-Been Hotel with anyone else who wants to. Before I before I get into today, I do want to mention something. Because of what happened to me in the morning session, this episode is a bit more scripted than usual. It was really important for me to gather my thoughts and represent this accurately. So if it feels like I'm looking down and reading more than I normally do, that's why. Okay, today was different. I didn't know that what happened today was possible. And now I just did. I was able to blend my voice in a way where on playback it actually sounded like I was part of the track. What makes that as hard as it does is that this isn't coming from inexperience. It's coming from everything I thought I understood about how audio works. My background isn't casual. My undergraduate training was in theater and radio television production. I worked professionally as a disc jockey in radio for 2 years. I have kept up with audio technologies and the move from analog to digital, slowly seeing how far I was getting from it. And one of the last ones is about a year ago, I ended a 7 year tenure serving as a co producer, leading talent, and editor on a good podcast. So I've seen that transition. I've followed how far things have moved, and I know what goes into a cappella production at a high level. I know most groups record their parts separately, often in completely different environments. And that's what we hear as a unified performance. What we're hearing is the result of extremely detailed, very high level, complex engineering. I know that work like this is often done by top tier engineers, people with Grammys who specialize in making those voices sit together the way they do. So, somewhere along the way, that's belief. It's a quiet one, but it was fairly firm. It's fact, at least, that that's how a mixed track is made. That level of blend is created in post, not by the singer alone. This is why when you hear a song live versus recorded, there's a different flavor to it, even though it sounds the same for the most part. So you don't do live. I will say the one time that differs is if you are actually seeing a live performance with one microphone, and even there is a little bit of engineering sweetening. So, not consciously stated, but absolutely there was the simple belief that I could match pitch, I could match tone, I could get close in volume to the track I was listening to, but I would never actually sound like I was in the mix, because the engineering to put me there was already done. And today, that belief broke. And not because I was trying to prove it wrong. I didn't believe I didn't even, it wasn't anything I even thought about. And I didn't really change anything. I was just getting into the music and singing it. But because I have immersed myself long enough to feel part of it, something else showed up. I didn't disappear into the sound. I was still present, and for the parts that I'm lead vocalist on, I was lead vocalist on. But I heard myself sitting in it in a way I simply accepted was not available to me. And that's kind of what stopped me this morning. It felt like a scare at first. Um, it wasn't just a new result. It directly contradicted something that I don't even think about but accept. And this is something that's been nurtured for me nearly 30, maybe more years. So I, thinking about it, said I'm not scared of it. Um, it it really the best way to accurately explain it is a paradigm shift. Because if the assumption that I had made was wrong, then the ceiling that I thought was certainly not a glass one, but actually stone, turned out not to even be there. There's no ceiling. This afternoon, I needed partially to see if it held, and in some ways it did. My first take for Boulevard came in with full energy, very similar to yesterday. Everything was connected. I wasn't reaching for high notes anymore. They were just there. And I think in my log I pointed down, I wrote down everything above a D4 sounds like everything below a D4. I wasn't going up for notes anymore. There were just more notes to sing. Everything was there. And the second take showed me the boundary. I pushed, not pushed, but I let myself into that first take. I came out of it and I was not panting, but definitely trying to catch my breath. I went into a second take and there was fatigue. It came in almost immediately. But my system didn't collapse, it sort of adapted. Notes were there, connection was there. The energy shifted into something more conservative in places. And by the end of it, it just kind of ran out. And it made the stopping point for today really obvious. So the takeaway from today isn't about building anything new. It's that I did not know. And had I thought about it, I would not have believed that the system can reach that level. I've done it once. It's not sustainable yet. It just happened. But then again, there are things now that are sustainable that at one time just happened. I see something new, and like every day, it really changes what the work I have looks like. I'll be honest, I'm actually still processing it. Okay, I'm going short. That's what I have for day 23. I will see you tomorrow, and as always, later.